Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth Joseph. Thank you so much for joining us for yet again another very exciting episode of the MyZone Learning Online School, where we try to give you everything that you have been missing from school. We try to give it to you right here. So, friends, let's do what we do best, which is sanitizing our hands. Yeah, make sure we get all in there. I hope your sanitizer smells as amazing as mine does, which makes it even more exciting to sanitize my hands. So the theme for this week still remains staying calm. So wherever you may find yourself, just remember to stay calm. This too shall pass, and we're in this together. And yes, we're going to see this through. Very, very soon you'll be back at school with your friends, on the playground, having lunch, and seeing your teacher. So just remain calm. Everything will be over soon, hopefully. So let's jump straight into it. We're going to move on to our grade 1 lesson, which is lesson 3 of week 8. And your lesson will be provided to you by teacher Kogas. So let's see what she has for us. I'm very excited.
Explanation of symbols on worksheets are as follows. Use coloring crayons to color the picture. Use your finger to follow the track or line or show the correct picture. Use a coloring crayon to draw a line or write a number or sound. Look at the picture and say the number or sound out loud. Use a scissors to cut on the dotted line. Look at the picture. Use these symbols for the lesson of the day, which will be allocated at the top right side of each page. For example, lesson 1, prepositions and directions.
Welcome to MyZone Online School. My name is Priska Kogas, and I would like to welcome my friend here with me today. We are still going on with the transport as our topic, but before we go on, let us remember to always sanitize our hands and keep social distance. Now let us sanitize our hands. The lesson for today is about word searching, sight words, length, questions, question words, and months. Can you all go to page 15? And on page 15, it's the 3-letter words. And we are going to deal today with, we are going to focus on the letter and the sound A. The letter sound A, if you go to page 15. Now I will show you what I have done, and even we are going to sound the words together. If you look here, we have the letter A, and then we have the word cat, mat, rat, sat, bat, and hat. And it's the same words that is also in your booklets on page 15. Now, next to the words, you will see that there is a word puzzle. And in this word puzzle, you have to find these words in the word puzzle. I will do the first word with you. Now we have to find, you have to look very nicely because all these words have been written in the word puzzle. Is there any word there? No, I can't see any word. And in the second row, yes, I can see mat. Mat. So what you're going to do, you're going to circle the word mat. using any color that you want. So we have done the word mat. Now I will do one again with you. We will look in the next row. I can't see any word that is here. In the next row, yes, bat, bat. And do we have the word here? Yes, bat, bat. So what you do, take your crayon or your color and you circle the word bat. I will leave you to do the rest yourself at home. But if you look down at the bottom of the page, you will see that we have 6 pictures. And these pictures are the same words from the words. You have to choose from the words and write the correct answer under each picture. I have done the first one. I have drawn it on the board. The first one, it's a hat. So now I have to go and find the word hat by the words cat, mat, rat, sat, bat, hat. Now I have to write the word hat under the picture. Write the word hat. I will leave you to do the rest of the pictures yourself at home. This lesson is all about sight words. Sight words are words that you cannot sound, you just say them as you see them. On the board we have the word the, to, you, and. Now next to it, in your book, on page 16, you will see that we have the sight words there. And they have been written for you. Now what you have to do is, the word puzzle that is at the bottom on that page, you have to go and find the words, the sight words in that word puzzle. You will see there are blocks, and these sight words are written in those blocks. So what you have to do is get your pencil and go and find the words and circle the words that you find. I will read again the words, the, to, you, and. I will let you do that yourself at home. Mommy will help you. If you can't find them, you first sound the words, you say it out loud, and then you find it in the puzzle that has been given on that page. In this lesson, we are talking about the long and the short. On the board here, we have 2 pencil crayons. One is long and one is short. One is long and one is short. The first one is long. And the second one is short. Now when you turn to page 17, can you turn to page 17? You will see that we have pictures on page 17. In the first picture, it's a flower that I see. And the instruction says, color the flower with the longest stem. The word longest means long. We talked about it a short while ago. We talked about the 2 pencils, the long and the short. Now we are talking about the flower. Now you have to look which flower stem is the longest. Take your pencil or your crayon and color in the flower that has the longest stem. We will do the next one in the next block. Color the shortest rope. There are 3 ropes. And now you have to see which one is the shortest. We have the medium long rope, then we have the longest one, and then we have the shortest one. Choose the shortest one and you color that one. The rest of the pictures in the other blocks, I want you to do it yourself because I know you can do that. Now please turn to page 18. On page 18, we have the words, the question words. And these words tells us who, what, and where. In the first picture, you will see Jim drives a blue car. Then the picture under that, you'll see Kate likes to drive her red car. And you will see the frog in the green car, Flipper. His car is green. And the last one says, the monster drives his car to the store. His car is orange. Now there are questions at the bottom because we said these are question words. The first questions asked us, who has a green car? Now you have to go back to the pictures and look for the green car. And what does it say? Have you found the green car? Flipper the frog has a green car. This lesson is all about months of the year and in which order we have to place them. But before we go to months of the year, let us sing that short song about months of the year. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That is now my short song. And I know you have a better song. But we have to put them in order. We have numbers from 1 up to 12. And now on those lines, you must write which month comes first. Now there's a block at the bottom, and all the months of the year have been written in those blocks. And they are not in order. You have to write them from 1 up to number 12. And I think Mommy can assist you. Mommy can help you to write this. You can even make use of your calendar at home and write the months of the year on the lines that are provided. Now, before we end our lesson of the day, I'm sure you enjoyed your day, but before we end it off, the most important part of it is to sanitize our hands at all times. Can we sanitize our hands? And whilst doing this, please remember at all times, social distancing. Social distancing. Those are the most important parts of the day. Now, before we close off, we will say bye-bye together with our friend Zashi. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I'm back, and if you are scared of what you read on social media, talk to your parents and ask them the questions. They know everything. Until next time, bye!
Wow. I hope you guys found that lesson very interesting, as did I. So now we're going to jump straight into our second lesson, which is for grade 2 and 3, week 8 lesson 3. And this lesson will be facilitated by teacher Mutsa. I love teacher Mutsa, but I love all the teachers. So I hope you guys enjoy this lesson.
Hello everyone and welcome to My Zone Online School. My name is Teacher Mutsa and I have my friend today joining us for our lesson. Hello. For our lesson, or rather our theme this week has been autumn. And before we get into our lesson, it's very important for us to sanitize our hands. Remember, you have to sanitize your hands every time so that there are no germs that will come onto your hands or anybody else. And also to protect yourself and everyone around you, you must check your social distancing. So make sure that you're not close enough to touch anyone. Our lesson today will be about nouns, pronouns, digraphs, blends, and diphthongs. Let's start our lesson on page 17. On page 17, we are talking about nouns. Now, we know nouns from grade 1, but let us try and do them again. Every name we call a noun. A rose, a doll, a hen, a crown. A noun is the name of a person, animal, place, or a thing. Your job is going to be to choose the words from the list below and to write the correct column, in the correct column. The columns that we have there are person, place, thing, or animal. Now, there are no pictures to help us, but we do have the word box below. You can see that from the word box, we do have a number of words that we need to put in the correct column. Let's take a look at the word student. Now, student can be someone who is studying at school, just like you, and we can't call a student a place. We can't call a student a thing. We can't call a student an animal. So a student must be a person. I'd like you to please write the word student in the column for person. Let's move on to the next word in the word box, bat. Now, there are two types of bats, but I think the bat we are looking at is a creature. Now, a creature can't be a person. A bat can't be a place. A bat can't really be a thing in this case, but a bat is an animal. So I'd like you to write the word bat in the column animal. Let's take a look at the next one. We have the word pencil. Let's see. A pencil can't be a person. A pencil can't be a place. I don't think so. A pencil can't be an animal either. Oh my goodness. But a pencil can be a thing. It's something that we use to write. So write the word pencil under the column thing. Let's look at the last word there in that word box, which is mall. I love going to Groove Mall, especially when they have cheap things for me to buy. Let's see, is Groove Mall a person? I don't think so. It's definitely not a thing. And I'm sure it's not an animal. But a mall is a place. So you are going to write mall under the column place. Now remember the rules of a noun, that it is a name of a person, animal, place, or a thing. And when you're filling in the rest, please make sure that you check and say, is it that thing? Let's move on to the next exercise on page 18. On page 18, we have pronouns. Now, there is nouns and there are pronouns. What we were dealing with before are nouns, and these are pronouns. These are words that replace a noun. So it jumps into the place of a noun. And our pronouns can be I, me, she, we, they, who, that, yours, his, her, or it. You can see that there are some pictures there to show some of the pronouns that we have. And it also says in each of the sentences below, write a pronoun from the word box to replace the red noun. So we know what nouns are. We have been doing them. And they are the words that we can see in red. And if you see them clearly, these are the same words we need to replace for our pronoun. Let's read number 1 together. Number 1 says, James is having a birthday party today. The word that is highlighted there in red is James, and we need to find a pronoun in our word box to replace the word James. Is it it? Is it he? Is it she? Is it they? Or is it him? Remember, when we are making sentences, the sentence needs to make sense. Otherwise, it is not a sentence and it is not English. So we will choose the word he to replace James. I would like you to please write he is having a birthday today on the lines provided there. You are going to do number 2, 3, 4, and 5 by yourselves. Remember, when you're writing a sentence, you start with a capital letter and end with a full stop. Make sure that your sentence makes sense when you're using the word box so that you don't make any mistakes. And if you want to be super duper sure, can you please cross out the word you have used from the word box so that you don't use it again? Let's go to page 19. On page 19, we have digraphs and blends. Now, I'm sure you know that when we started learning how to read, we had letters, and those letters made sounds. Now, when 2 or more letters are together, they don't become just sounds, but they become digraphs. So we have a couple of digraphs that are shown there, and we are going to read them together. But before we do, it says digraphs are a combination of 2 letters that make one sound. So we have our sound sh, then th, and ch, and the last one we have is k. What I would like us to do is that we are going to do the sound. First, we are going to sound the words we can see and then say the words together. For example, we have sh, r, k, shark. That's the word that we're going to say. So we first sound the word and then we say the word together. We're going to do the first block that we can see there. I want you to do it with me because this is how we learn how to read. And don't worry if you don't understand the sound. There's more than one for each. So let us try and do it together. Remember to look at the picture because the picture can also give you a clue on what the word is. Let us go together. Sh, r, k, shark. Thumb, ch, air, chair, whale, lunch, earth. Fish, black. Now I'm sure you noticed that there are some letters in words that were quiet, and that's because we don't say them. For example, in the word whale, we don't say whale because the E is quiet. And in the word thumb, we don't say thumb because the B is quiet. I want you to practice all these words by yourselves Take a look at the sounds and say them out loud. Then you say the word that you can see. Remember to use the pictures to help you read all these words. I want you to do it by yourself and for anyone who's at home. And remember to have fun with this. I hope you enjoyed this exercise. Let's hope you had no problems with your last exercise. Let's now move on to page 20. On page 20, you can see that we have a sound. That sound is oi. Now, oi can come in two forms, O-I and O-Y. But both of them say oi. And they're used differently in different words. Let's look at the board. On the board, I have our two sounds O-I and O-Y. If we're looking at the sound oi, we know that it is a long vowel sound that can be used to bring two consonant sounds together to blend them into a word. So we are going to choose which oi sound can be used here. Here we have b and then a dash. So if we were to add the oi, it would say b, oi. But which oi are we going to use? Is it O-I or O-Y? Which one do you think we should use? Point to it. For the word boy, O-Y. If you got this correct at home as well, well done. So the word boy for O-Y. Then we have the word spoil. Do we use O-I or O-Y? Which one do we use? Point to the one that we use. Yes, we use O-I. So our word will become spoil. Now, I would like you to look back at your exercise on page 20. You are going to do the same. You are going to choose which O-I or O-Y for each word, like coins, okay? And the rest I can't do for you because I know you are clever. Once you're done with this, this will be the last exercise for our lesson. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, grade 2s and 3s. I know I did. Now, before we say goodbye, it is very important that we sanitize. So please take your sanitizer. And remember, sanitizing is not just to protect you, but the people around you. So make sure you sanitize very well. And make sure that they are dry as well. Don't forget to practice good social distancing by checking in front of you and beside you as well. But I wonder, I haven't seen our little friend Zashi. Hello, Zashi. So, from my friend Zashi and I, we would like to say goodbye.
Hi everyone, I'm back, and if you are scared of what you read on social media, talk to your parents and ask them the questions. They know everything. Until next time, bye!
Ooh, there you have it, another one. So let's do that again with grade 4, week 8, lesson 8, which has to do with all about science, you know, those sciencey things, those very interesting experiments, and yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So your lesson will be facilitated by teacher Fotolela. Ooh.
Good morning, learners. Welcome to my Zone Online School. I am Ms. Fotolela, and welcome my friend here, Shanae. Before we start with today's lesson, let's sanitize our hands and practice the social distancing all the time. Do not forget to wear your mask. Today's lesson, we'll be learning about the human body. Let's turn on page 14. Topic, human body, different systems of human body. Competencies. Identify from a given diagram the different systems of the human body. Describe the basic functions of the respiratory and excretory systems. Vocabularies. There are some words that we will be using during our lesson, which is body systems. It's a collection of body parts able to work together to serve a common purpose, such as growth, reproduction, and survival. Introduction. Children must be able to understand how their body functions. The first competency says that identify from a given diagram the different systems of the human body. Look at the pictures below. The circulatory system, which is made of a heart, blood vessels, and veins. The heart pumps blood to all parts of the body. The second system is the nervous system, which is made up of the brain and nerves. Now, the brain sends messages to all parts of the body. Continuing to respiratory system, which is made up of the mouth or nose, trachea, and then the lungs. It helps you to breathe in and out. The digestive system, it's made up of the mouth, the esophagus, the liver, the stomach, large intestine, as well as small intestine. It helps you to break down food. The last system is the skeletal system or a skeleton system. It is made up of bones which helps you to move, run, and support the body. Let's turn on page 15. The second competency says that you have to describe the basic function of the respiratory and excretory system. Now, let's look at the function of the respiratory system. It is to breathe, meaning to take in oxygen from your mouth or your nose and to give out carbon dioxide from your mouth or your nose as well. Look at that picture there. It shows a picture that consists of the lungs, the trachea, that long pipe there, the mouth, and then the nose. The second picture is the function of the excretory system is to remove waste products from the body. Take note that the waste products are the things that our body does not need, such as urine when you go pee at the toilet, the sweat when you do some exercises, and the carbon dioxide that you breathe out, and then the feces when you go to the toilet. Those are the waste products that our body does not need. Now, let's do a short activity here. Number 1, you identify different systems of human body. You are going to look at that picture. You identify all the different systems and then you write their names down. Number 2, you describe the basic function of letter A, which is respiratory system, and then letter B, which is excretory system. This is the end of our lesson. The memorandum is at the back of the booklet. Let's sanitize our hands again. You spray, and then you rub your hands nicely in and out between the fingers, around the thumb, and then you practice social distance all the time. Do not forget to wear your mask. Stay home and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I'm back, and if you are scared of what you read on social media, talk to your parents and ask them the questions. They know everything. Until next time, bye!
Okay friends, so right now we're going to jump straight into our lesson for grade 7. I hope that you guys know what I'm about to say. No, maybe you don't. But we're going to jump straight into mathematics. And I know that all of us love mathematics in one way or form. So let's see how interesting this lesson is. And this is facilitated by teacher Dumi.
Welcome to MyZone Online School. My name is Mr. Letwai Dumi. Welcome, Clarice. Before we start with our lesson, let us remember to sanitize. Make sure all the parts of your hands are sanitized and keep the social distance by stretching out. Today's lesson is on square numbers and cube numbers. To start, let us go to page 15 on our booklet. That's where Mathematics Grade 7, Lesson 8 is square numbers and cube numbers. So I have to read through. The learning objective is to know the square and cube numbers and their properties. The competencies need to recognize and list square and cube numbers up to 10. When a number is multiplied by itself, we call that the product or the answer is a square number. For example, you can count the blocks with the first one there, which is a square, which is just 1, so that is the same as 1 times 1 to give you the product or the square number as 1. So 1 is a square number. The second, we have 4 blocks there, and then that is 2 squared, so it's 2 times 2 gives you 4. It goes with 3 squared, 3 times 3 gives you 9, 4 squared, 4 times 4 gives you 16, 5 squared, 5 times 5 gives you 25, 6 squared, which is 6 times 6 gives you 36. We have 7 squared, which is 7 times 7 gives you 49, 8 squared, which is 8 times 8 gives you 64, 9 times 9, 81, and 10 times 10, which is 100. Now we have to move to page 16. Page 16, there is a multiple table whereby there are numbers which are in red, colored in red, and blocks, and some which are yellow. So to read on top on the right side is a multiplication table whereby we have square numbers. Square numbers have two dimensions, namely length and breadth, which is also the width. In the multiplication table square, to the left, the square numbers, or we can say the perfect squares, are shown in red. Reading below, that is why there is a little 2 to the top right of the number. We use this when we work out the area. This will be covered later in the year, so it's another topic to do. Take note of the way the number are written. We have 3 squared, that gives you 9. So the base number there is 3, the exponent or the power is 2, and the square number is 9, or we can also say 9 is a product. We are done with the square numbers, so we have to go to the cube numbers to read through the cube numbers. A cube number is a product of multiplying a number by itself and then by itself again. So that number have to appear 3 times. For example, there are blocks or cubes which are drawn there. The first one is 2 times 2 times 2. That can also be written as 2 cube, or 2 to the power 3. There is 3 times 3 times 3. There is 4 times 4 times 4. 5 times 5 times 5. Moving to page 17. Reading through, cube numbers have 3 dimensions, namely the length, the breadth, which is the width, and the height. That is why there is a little 3 to the top right of the number, which that 3 is also called the cube. We use this when we work out volume. This can also be covered a little bit later. Note the way the number is written. There is an exponent, which is 3, which is also power. There is also the base, which is 5, and the product or the cube number, which is 125. If you look in the box on your top right side corner, the numbers are written with the exponent, which is 3. That means 1 cube is 1 times 1 times 1. That gives you 1. 1 is also a cube number. 2 cube gives you 2 times 2 times 2 gives you 8. 3 cube gives you 27. 4 gives you 64. 5 gives you 125. 6 cube gives you 216. 7 gives you 343. 8 gives you 512. 9 gives you 729. And 10 gives you, 10 cubes gives you 1,000. So with that, allow me to go to the chalkboard so that I can explain this in much detail. So we have learned about the square numbers and the cube numbers, and some of the properties that we need to learn here is we can have, for example, is a 2 squared. Whenever a number is a square number, it's having this little power here, which is a 2. And this, you can also expand it in this way. You say 2 times 2 to give you a 4. A 4. So if you look at this 2, it means this number has to appear twice. These 2 have to appear twice. That's why there's a 2 here. I can give another example. For example, we have 4 squared. 4 need to appear 2 times. So it has to be 4 times 4. And that should give you a 16. So this 2 here, it shows you that you have 4 2 times, given that we have to multiply. So it's a number multiplied by itself. That number has to appear twice. That's why we have a power 2 here. I think that's much easy. So we say a 2 on top, it's an exponent, or we say the power. The number which is there, which is a 2 or a 4, it's called the base. And the answer you get, it is called the square number, or we can also say the product. A product is an answer to multiplication. So whatever answer you get after you multiplied a number or numbers, then you get a product. But when we have a power as 2, we say that is a square number. Cube numbers. We can give also an example of a cube number as maybe we can say 2 to the power 3 or 2 cube. In that way, we are multiplying this number by itself and again by itself. So we have a 2 times 2 times 2. Look at this little number. It's an exponent or the power. So that number has to indicate that your 2, which you are multiplying, must appear 3 times. So we have 1 here, we have 2, and we have 3 times. That's why there is to the power 3 or cube, because it's 3 times. And 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. So 8 tends to be a cube number. We can also say 8 is a product because it came up by multiplying numbers. And we said an answer to multiplication, it is called a product. We can also use the number, for example, 10. 10 to the power 3. If you look at that number, we have to multiply 10 2 times. And 10 must appear 3 times. We have 10 times 10 times 10. So remember, this is 3 times that a number has to appear. And then we say 10 times 10 gives you 100. 100 times 10 gives you 1,000. So we say 1,000 is a cube number coming from 10 cube. 10 times 10 times 10. This is an exponent, this is a base, and this is a cube number, or we can say the product. So with that, I believe this is much, much easier to do and clear. So we have to go back to our booklet so that we can do the activity, or I can read through the activity. Okay, the activity is on page 17 of our booklet. The first question under our activity is to identify all the square numbers in the list below. So there are numbers there: 1, 7, 11, 16, 18, 24, 25, 30, 36, 73, 79, 80, and 81. So you are required to identify or just write down all the square numbers on that list or from that list. The second question is to fill in the missing square numbers in the list below. So there is a list there, there is a space, and there is 4, there is space, there's 25, 3 spaces, and then there is 81 in the last space. You must write. We go to page 18 on our booklet with the third question, meaning to find the path of square numbers from the start to end. You may only move horizontally or vertically. You must go in order without missing out any number. Take note of the instruction which says you can only move horizontal or vertically, and the starting point is indicated with an arrow, and the ending point is also indicated with an arrow. You can do that. Number 4, we have to draw a line to match the numbers from the column on the left to those in the column on the right. So if you have the first one with 2 times 2 times 2, what will be the answer on the right hand side? The second one, if you have 63, what could be the answer? 3 times 3 times 3. We have 43, we have 5 times 5 times 5, and 13. So match the correct numbers which are corresponding. Number 5, there we have to circle all the cube numbers in the box below, or all the numbers which are listed there. Just circle the numbers which are cube numbers. So that gives, or that brings us to the end of our presentation or lesson of today. Before we leave, let us remember to sanitize and make sure all the parts of your hands are sanitized. Social distance by stretching out, and from us, it's a bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I'm back, and if you are scared of what you read on social media, talk to your parents and ask them the questions. They know everything. Until next time, bye!
guys, we've reached the end of our lessons and our segment for today, but do not despair. We'll be back again with another video for you guys. So please, for this last part, allow me to introduce Miss Maria Fries, who is an HOD at the Nama Primary School in Swakopmund, and she's going to be telling us a little bit about what the booklets meant to them as a school. So yeah, enjoy this next video and stay tuned. Thank you so much for allowing us to share this process with you, and thank you for watching all our videos and being informed and feeling like you're at school. So till next time, my name is Elizabeth Joseph.
Here with Maria Fries, the head of department for junior primary at Nama Primary School. Hi Maria, how are you?
I'm fine, man. More than fine.
Okay, so you have received learning aid booklets from MyZone. How do you feel about a private company like Namibia Media Holdings getting involved in public education?
Ma'am, at this moment, I feel that it's a very positive thing. In the first place, we can do with every little help that we can get. And at this moment, with that little booklets, we can help a lot of parents who are not in a zone of internet or WhatsApp or in most cases without the telephone that you can communicate. So they just buy the newspaper, or they just come to school and they collect the worksheets for the learners. So it is a very positive thing.
Yes. And how do you feel about the work in the booklets? Do you feel it's good quality? Do you feel it's enough work?
For a week, I feel it's enough. That's why it's for a week. So then they don't have to overwork themselves.
Yes.
And they also have a lot of time to rest after the activities for the next day, for the next activity. So I think for the week, on a weekly basis, it's more than enough. And since we as schools also top up on hard copies for them also on a week, on a weekly basis, I think it's more than enough.
And the quality of the activities, do you think
the quality of the activities, it's in the first place for the pre-primary up to grade 3 is very colorful, which is very good.
Yes.
It makes it attractive to them.
Yes.
So I think it's very good. The quality, that's why I said the quality is good. But if you want to have a higher quality, that's why we can hand out more hard copies to them to make the quality more or whatever. But for me, the quality is good.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.